G'day guys, welcome to Teach Together Try. Today we are looking at, our learning intention is to locate fractions with different denominators on a number line. And our success criteria might be to identify the relative value of fractions. And relative means, which one's higher, which one's lower compared to each other. You sort of want to be able to understand what a half of something is, what 2/3 of something is, what 4/6 of something is, and it's going to look a bit like this. I want us to understand that a half, I guess, would go here on the number line, and that's where a half is, isn't it? I want us to understand that 2/3 is really, well, if you cut this number line into 3 pieces here, that's 2/3, we'll cut it into thirds, I guess the 2/3 would go about here, wouldn't it? And I want you to understand that 4/6, okay, if you cut this number line here into 6, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 4/6 would go on the fourth one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4/6 is going to actually go on the same spot as 2/3 because they're equivalent. Okay, so we're looking at placing fractions on a number line. Okay, and here we are, guys. We've got our number line, we've got 0 and we've got 1, and today's number lines are going to focus on 0 and 1. And we've got 1/2, we've got 4/6, we've got 1/5, we've got 3/5. And you can see the denominators, well, apart from these guys, not the same. So it's not about just going, oh, look, let's just pop them in order. You've got to work out their relative value. Okay, so I'm actually not going to get you to work out, I'm not going to get you to make them equivalent or anything like that. I just think we're going to look at the number line and we're going to go, right, I know where a 1/2 goes. So let's deal with them one at a time. 1/2 means, 1/2 of something. So this 2 means we'd cut something into 2 pieces and then we're asking for one of them, aren't we? So let's cut this line in half, and that's going to be about there, isn't it? So 1/2 would go there. Let's just do it one at a time. Okay, let's look at 4/6. Now 4/6 means we're going to cut something up into 6 pieces. So let's do that. Here we go, because 6 equals 6. So we're going to cut this line up into 6 equal pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 of those would be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4, 6. Okay? Now 1/5. 1/5 here, we've got 1/5, and this is 1/5, and the 5 there means we're going to cut something into 5 equal pieces, and there's going to be one of them. So let's cut up this line. I know there's a few lines there already, but I'm sure we can manage. Let's cut up this line into fifths. So it's going to be about, well, it's a bit tricky, isn't it? Let's say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll be 5/5. Okay, so I understand it's a bit tricky, but you can do it. So 1/5 would be here. There's your 1/5. Okay? And of course the other one's going to be easy. We're still using fifths, so we'll use that mark we just used, which means 1/5, 2/5, and 3/5 would go here. Quite close to 4/6 actually. Okay, I hope that's been a little bit helpful. Let's do one together. Okay, and we have got 2/5, we've got 3/4, we've got 1/2, we've got 1/6. Let's place them where they might be on this number line. Let's do it one bit at a time. Now I showed you exactly how to do this. Let's do with 2/5. Let's start off with 2/5. Remember that the 5 here means we're going to divide it into 5 sections. So why don't you draw this down now in your book and then divide it into 5 sections. So do that. Pause me. Do that. Okay, I hope you did that. And it should look a bit like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 sections, isn't there? Not 5 lines, 5 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2/5 is going to be about here. 1, 2. So I did that for you, didn't I? Bad teacher. Okay. What about 3/4? So divide this line up into into quarters, and then let's find 3 of them. So pause me and do that. Divide up this line into quarters, and then let's find 3 of them. So pause me and do that. Okay, you should have done something like this. Well, there's going to be 1/4. That's going to be 2/4, which is going to be halfway. That's going to be 3/4. And so then you need to go, where are you going to put 3/4? Can you do that now? You should have done this. 1, 2, 3, 3/4 there. 3/4 is going to go about there. Okay. Let's do a half. Now actually we've already divided into half. I wonder if you can find that halfway bit. Pause me and try and find that. Yes, this is a half. This is the 2/4 is of course the same as a half. So your half is going to go there, isn't it? Okay. Last but not least, guys, is 1/6. And 1/6 means, well, it's going to be divided into 6. So can you do that? And then see if you can find 1/6. See if you can have a go at that. Okay, it should have looked like this. Remember that 3/6 would be halfway, wouldn't it? So let's divide it into 6. So that's halfway. Probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so where would you put the 1/6? Probably about here, wouldn't you? Okay. We've done it together. You're going to have a go all by yourself. Okay, here we go. Can you... Oh, what's it, Daisy? Okay, here we go. Can you place them on the number line? 1/2, 1/4, 3/5 and 2/3. Have a go. Okay, I hope you paused me and I hope that you had a go, and it should have been a bit like this. 1/2, well, let's divide it in 2, and that's going to be a half right there, isn't it? 1/2. 1/4 means let's divide it into 4 bits, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1/4 would be about here. 3/5 is getting a little bit trickier, and that means we've got to divide it into 5 bits, so here we go. I have to think about this. This is going to be exactly halfway, isn't it? So 5 bits, which means 4 lines. So, So something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be about into fifths, and so then you'd nominate the 3rd fifth, which would be here, 3/5, because that would be your 4th fifth, and that of course would be your 5th fifth. And then you've got 2/3, which means of course you need to divide it into 3s. So let's do that into thirds. So into thirds, so probably somewhere there and there, because now you've got 1 big section there, 2, 3, that's about thirds, and 2/3. No, that's not good enough. That's not really 2/3, is it? Let me rub that off. Okay, let's try thirds again. I would say choink, choink. Okay, I wasn't far off. Let's say there. Let's say about there. And that's a bit better, isn't it? And those 2/3, so there's 1 section, there's 2 sections, there's your 3rd section, so there's 3/3, and of course 2/3 would be not 1/3, but 2/3 would be about there. Quite close to 3/5 actually. Okay, I wonder if yours looked a bit like that. I hope that this has been helpful. We've been looking at number lines and how you might place fractions on a number line, particularly when they've got different denominators, which is this little bit down the bottom here. Okay, see you later.